Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at the final episode, or hopefully not the final episode, but the final episode of this season of Alderamin on the Sky, so episode 13. Honestly, great episode, great show. I think for me, this is probably one of my favorites of the season, probably top three. Danganronpa is probably my top of the season, but this is definitely second place. Alderman of the Sky was amazing, and it's a shame that I don't think it was as popular as it should have been, because honestly, military anime is usually always hit or miss with me because sometimes it's too unrealistic. I've talked about this before, so I won't go too far into detail with it, but it's typically very unrealistic, or they kind of do stuff that's kind of goofy or corny. Alderman of the Sky had everything you needed from this type of show. You had a little bit of comedy, but you had a little bit more drama. You had a lot of military concepts. You had a lot of the darker sides of military and the countryside and stuff like that. It was very well done. I mean, honestly, this episode was amazing. I'm gonna talk about this episode first, and then I'll kind of review the whole series like I always do with my final episode reviews. So episode 13 had essentially Ikta versus John, and the battle between them was very interesting in the sense that it was not all about warfare. What it started off as is Ikta was kind of forced into putting up a retreat flag of sorts, more so like a negotiation flag, I should say. And during that negotiation, we have Ikta finally meeting John. And what's funny about this is that this sequence has it where this is the front of the episode, where they start talking about negotiations. Ikta uses his great tactics of, negotiating with them, kind of even threatening him, which John goes, that's not even right for the negotiation. You're not supposed to threaten us. It's supposed to be a negotiation. He goes, well, negotiations are supposed to be two-way streets. You're supposed to have it where both sides are willing to negotiate. You're not doing that right now. So it was a really well done scene. I really loved the whole sequence as it was. And we really see that, John is about saving his country more so. He wants to also, show honor to his country by being the best, being the hero of his country. Meanwhile, Ikta is, of course, as we know, the lazy general. He's the one that he doesn't want to save his country. He just does his job to keep everyone around him safe. And, John doesn't like that. He kind of hates Ikta for that reason behind it. But I love the sequence between these two right here. It was really good. Then what's interesting, though, is I want to shift gears here and talk about one thing that I noticed that was actually straight from the opening. You might think that's actually from the opening clip. It is from the opening clip. But this was actually one of the last sequences of the anime before the credits roll, which was really cool. Was this was the sequence where the princess tells him that she wants Ikta to lose the war against the empire, the Alderamin Empire. And she wants that because what she feels is that Ikta can save the country, the empire, under the guise of loss. So this way, if they do lose, all this stuff will happen to them. They'll start losing their individuality. They'll have different religions come in, different cultures and stuff like that. And she thinks that Ikta then from inside out can save the empire and kind of rebuild it back up. But as he's talking to Yatsuri after the credits roll, he goes, I don't care about any of that. What I care about is just keeping you safe, Yatsuri, and also keeping my friends safe. So I really dig that. I think it was so well done. And by the way, I apologize if you heard that different tone in the background. I forgot to mute my phone. But what was cool about this whole series in general, though, is that, like I said before, we got a very strong military anime that had just enough of everything to keep it interesting. Every episode was really well done. The first episode, I think, was the only weak episode of the whole series because it was just it felt kind of rushed. And I always say that because it almost made me turned off from the show. But every episode after was always really well done. I kept wanting to watch each episode as they passed by. Now, animation art-wise, I love it. I think Madhouse did a really phenomenal job. All these characters look very different and unique. This is not your typical high school, they're going into war stuff. This is, young adults going into war, and it's really interesting how they do that. I felt the story was overall very well presented. I wish they would have fleshed out certain things a little bit more, like more stuff about the Empire and more stuff about the Aldern Empire, which is the enemy. But I feel that, it's one of those things that you're going to have to read the light novels to kind of get the full background story with it. And that's unfortunately what I'm kind of thinking is going to happen with the series. This probably will be the last episode of the series in general. And then we'll have to have the light novels come out or something like that, which I really hope that's not. Because honestly, I think this show was really well done. I think it was one of the best of the season, despite it being kind of under the radar to a lot of other people. Because, I've heard people talking about Alderman, but I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it. So I feel it's not popular enough to really warrant, the necessary kind of love for it. But I think it really deserved it, if that makes sense. Voice acting, or excuse me, not animation, music and all OST and stuff like that. I really dug it. I thought that the music was really fitting. I love the opening. I think the opening is great. I could listen to that thing a million times. The ending was okay. I really wasn't a big fan of the ending song. I did love the voice acting. I think everyone was really well done. John was voiced by Code Geass as Lelouch himself, which I thought was really cool. He clearly is a good character for a type of military type anime, so I was happy to see him in a role like this. But we had all these characters being voiced by characters that really, fit their personas in the show. So I thought that was really well done. Overall, if I had to review Ultraman of the Sky A through F, given everything I've seen on it so far, A plus. Honestly, this was a great show. It was so interesting. It had such a great story concept. Well done animation, well done art, well done everything. I mean, I really loved it. I really think that if you have not seen the show yet, definitely go check it out. That's kind of why I keep always with the last episode kind of away from complete spoilers. It did have, unfortunately, I had to kind of spoil it, but there's still more stuff that you can watch in it that I did not spoil, so you can enjoy it still. Anyways, guys and girls, as always, if you enjoy these reviews, hey, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. You know the whole nine. I'm not gonna go into all the time. I will talk to you later. Until I pass across again in the next review. Have a good one, everyone. Bye bye.